Welcome to episode number 15 of the Go Knows podcast. Today is December 15th, 2019. This podcast is by a fan, for fans. I am not a journalist, reporter, insider. I do not work for a website. Everything on this podcast is, in my opinion, I'm a fan. Today's episode is going to spotlight DJ Matthews, Dennis Briggs. I'm going to give some insights on how to build a winning program. And we finally got a QB commit. And we've got possibly some other players coming back, or player coming back. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. I want to start off with DJ Matthews. This is my opinion on him. He has a very unique skill set as a wide receiver. He does things on the field that you very rarely see, which is good most of the time. He has good hands, good speed. He needs to work on his route running. He needs to stop freelancing, which is a part of his unique skill set. A good overall talent. If he puts it all together, he kind of reminds me of a poor man's San Antonio Holmes, the old Pittsburgh Steelers receiver. That's who he reminds me of. That play against Boston College where he caught that crossing route and took it to the house. That's if we could get that kind of effort from him, for 4 quarters, there would be nothing stopping that guy. I'm pretty sure he's going to come back for his senior year. And to me, he's going to be the go-to receiver, in my opinion. So we'll just have to see, man. Next, Dennis Briggs. Defensive end. Needs to get stronger. Needs to work on pass rushing techniques. Overall, a okay talent. With hard work and dedication, could blossom into a pro prospect. He needs work. He needs a lot of work. He needs to get in the weight room. He needs to, fine tune his pass rushing techniques. He's not like a 3-4 defensive end. He's a 4-3 defensive end. And he needs to better disengage from the offensive lineman. It just seems like when he's pass rushing, he just gets stuck and he can't get disengaged. If he gets in the weight room and fine tunes his pass rushing ability, he might be an undrafted free agent. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all on my podcast. He could be an undrafted free agent if he puts forth maximum effort from now until he's gonna have to stay pretty much his all 4 years to develop. But if he puts in the effort, he could be an undrafted free agent. Next, I wanted to just speak on the fans real briefly. We as fans are in uncharted waters right now because of our football team. Because our football team stinks. I'm just saying next season, let's give our full support to our team. Because we're not going to the college football playoff next year. So I think if we give them maximum support, that can only help our team achieve the best record possible. If you're a fan, stick with this team through everything, man. The ups and the downs, through everything. Next, I wanted to touch on Ron Dugans. Ron Dugans staying with Florida State is a great move by Norvell. This only helps the team, the receivers, and maybe, this will help Trayshawn Harrison stay. I touched on Trayshawn Harrison on Saturday's episode. Dugans has great energy on and off the field when he's coaching and when he's recruiting. So I just feel like that was a fabulous move by Norvell. I wanted to touch briefly on the quarterback recruiting situation with the quarterbacks. And again, I'm not some kind of Jeff Sims supporter. It's probably going to be the last time I talk about Jeff Sims. All right, because we did sign a quarterback yesterday, and already Norvell has accomplished something that Willie Taggart couldn't do, and that was sign a high school quarterback. So kudos to Norvell. Several years ago, Jimbo Fisher had an opportunity to recruit a guy named Lamar Jackson. Fisher said Jackson did not fit his system. This was in 2015. Now, I look at Lamar Jackson today. He isn't that much different than he was in high school. I think if we could have got Lamar Jackson with his unique skill set, I mean, we probably would have been rolling for a couple more years after the title run. I mean, I think in 2015 we won 10 games. We went to the Peach Bowl and got our doors blown off by Houston. But if we could have had Lamar Jackson, man, that's why I say sometimes you just have to look beyond the skill set and my scheme. You know, a lot of offensive play callers, gurus, or whatever you want to call them, they have egos. You know, they just don't look at a guy and say, hey, I can do something with this guy. I can tailor my system around this guy's skills. It's just, you know, they want the round piece to fit in the round peg. And you know, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me see where I'm at here. I'm not comparing Jeff Sims to Lamar Jackson. I'm definitely not doing that. I'm just saying that I've said it in previous episodes. This program is not in a position where you can just, okay, this guy doesn't fit my system. Okay, congratulations. You signed a 3-star quarterback. Congratulations. Okay, it's not like you went out and got Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. All right. But again, you, Norvell, accomplished something that the previous coaching staff could never do, and that's get a high school quarterback to sign on the dotted line or commit. I'm sorry. So, again, at the very least, bring Sims in. You know, you never know how this guy is gonna come in and compete. So that was just my thing. I'm not sitting here, you know, campaigning for Jeff Sims. I'm just saying, if you have an opportunity to get one of the top quarterbacks, just bring him in, man. If he transfers, he transfers. I mean, this happens all the time. Bringing all the talent you can to your program only helps. I think I spoke on Telly Lockett the other day, but I'm going to say it again. South Florida is without a doubt the most talented, rich area for football in this country. We have a great guy on our staff who has great connections in South Florida, and that's, like I said, Telly Lockett, the tight ends coach. To me, he's a must keep. I'm going to keep saying it, just like I was on Dugans. Telly Lockett is a must keep to get into South Florida. Again, keeping him, continuity. The guys, from what I understand, like Telly Lockett, and, you know, it only brings you closer to your team. To me, football is simple. You build your team inside out. That means getting great offensive and defensive linemen. Not necessarily the 5-star guys, but just guys that can dominate the line of scrimmage. You look at several teams that I can point out. Georgia, dominant line play. Alabama, at least up until this year, dominant line play. In my opinion, LSU has the best offensive line in football. There's numerous examples throughout the history of college football and just football in general, no matter the level. He who wins at the line of scrimmage usually wins games, wins championships. So I'm hoping that Mike Norvell can adopt that philosophy. Because you can have all the bells and whistles as far as skill players, but if you don't have dominant line play, it's a moot point. The only exception is if you have a transcendent talent like a Michael Vick or a Lamar Jackson on offense, or you have, I don't know if you can make that same comparison on defense, because I think you could have, 2 shutdown corners, 2 Deion Sanders, and, a couple of Derwin James back there. If you can't get any pass rush, DBs can't cover all day. So you definitely need a dominant pass rush on defense to have an effective defense. We as fans have to change our mindset. Because if things don't turn around ASAP, I know this fan base is going to try to run Norvell out of town, man. So we have to give him a chance to build a winner. I think he can do it. I mean, just, not 1 week exactly on campus, and this guy did something that in almost 2 years Willie Taggart couldn't do, and that was sign a QB recruit. I'm going to give a man kudos for that, because he did that. And from what his name is Tate Rodemaker. I'm saying his name wrong probably. Excuse me, but he had a monster senior year in high school. So, hey man, I haven't watched any highlights on the guy. He could be the next great thing. I don't know. But to me, you bring in as much talent as you can and let the cream rise to the top. That's my opinion. Okay? If he transfers, he transfers. You're here to make Florida State a better product. You're here to put us in position to compete for ACC championships and get in the playoff. So, if a guy has talent, you bring him in. Let him compete. You never know what could happen. I've seen this in high school, college, and the pros. You just never know what's in a guy's heart when they're in a competitive situation. So hopefully Florida State can close out big on this recruiting weekend, and we can get more commits and move back up the recruiting charts. And that's pretty much it for today's episode. Once again, thank you for the outstanding support for this podcast. It's available on YouTube. Click the notifications button so you can get the latest on the podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe. When you give me 5 stars, it really helps me out as far as moving this podcast forward. Once again, thank you for listening, and go Noles.